Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the University of Cagliari in Sardinia. We are the Department of Civil, Environmental Engineering and Architecture. My name is Michele Campagna. Today I will introduce you to the Metropolitan City of Cagliari case study. We have been working in the last 2 years on this case study. We ran several workshops. And today you are using the latest data available for this study. And so I would like to introduce you the main feature of this area, the main issue, and I hope this will help you to run a successful workshop today.
Welcome to Sardinia. Sardinia is an island with that is not much developed. If we compare with other Italian regions, the population is only 1.6 million, whereas the Sicily have 4 times bigger population and approximately the same area. And if we look at Lombardy region around Milan, you have almost 8 times larger population. In Sardinia, Cagliari is located in the south, in the Cagliari Gulf, and is the capital city. So you will be working on a case study of the Cagliari metropolitan area, more or less this area I'm showing you now with the cursor, where there is Cagliari and the Cagliari conurbation in the center. This is composed by Cagliari and a few other smaller municipalities. Cagliari is surrounded by 2 wetlands, one big pond that is a national park and a big lagoon. And at the edge of the metropolitan area, you have mountain areas on the east, the Sette Fratelli mountain, and on the west, the Capoterra mountain. And to the south, you have the coastal limit. You have a big beach in Cagliari. This is a 10-kilometer wide sand beach, and the smaller beaches in the southeast and southwest. These are traditionally the most tourist areas, whereas Cagliari became only recently a tourist town, especially after low-cost airline started operating in the Cagliari airport. That is more or less here. And north of Cagliari, there is a big plain, the Campidano Plain, and some hilly areas, and these are mostly agricultural land. You can see here the biggest industrial pole, the Macchiareddu area, and there is also another industrial, big industrial plant here. This is an oil refinery. So when it comes to planning, Sardinia in 2006 adopted a regional landscape plan which affect all the island, and then this is the main level. The regional level of planning is one of the 3 main levels of planning in the Italian system. And then the second level is the municipal planning, basically local land use planning, which usually affect the municipal boundary. And then you have a third level with the implementation plan that concern smaller land uses inside the municipal boundary. In Sardinia, as well as in many other parts of Italy, there is not a big tradition of having municipalities planning together, so intermunicipal planning. So now that we established the metropolitan city, which include 17 municipalities, there is a challenge, also the opportunity to develop to plan together for all the municipality, looking also at the other outside each municipal boundary, and this create again a challenge, because there is in the culture of the local administration there is no this idea, this tradition in working with other municipality, and the opportunities as well, because this is the most populated area of the island. The population is around 430,000 people. it means is around 1/4 of the total population of the island. Cagliari, being a capital city, is the most developed conurbation within few other municipalities, and represent in terms of infrastructure and services important pole inside of the center of the area. Cagliari is an historical town, it's a medieval town. There used to be a Roman town in the Cagliari area. And until last century, Cagliari was basically represented by the four neighborhoods in the historic center: the castle with the walls up to the hill, and then the commercial neighborhood, the marina neighborhood on the port, and on the back there is another neighborhood, Villanova neighborhood, that basically create the connection between the old city and the agricultural land. And on the other side of the Castle Hill, the Stampaccia neighborhood was more the function, used to have function of commerce, but also handicraft and light industry. Cagliari, being an historical city, has a strong tradition. This is an example of the Sant'Efisio parade that is held in Cagliari since many centuries, every 1st of May, and which collect communities basically exhibiting the local costume from most of the municipality from Sardinia, which come to Cagliari every year to celebrate Sant'Efisio, a saint, the patron of the city. Cagliari and the southern coast is characterized by many beaches. This is the 10 kilometers beach of Cagliari, Poeto Beach, and a smaller beach on the coast, as I said, and this attract tourism, especially in the summer season, let's say between May and October. Is a temporary kind of tourism, so visitors come, spend a short time, mostly on the beach, nowadays also in the city, but for not such a long period. So even tourism is not yet strongly developed in this part of the island. If you compare especially other coastal region in the Mediterranean, such as Spain or even Greece. Having a big portion of agricultural land in the area, there is a big production of traditional, let's say, agriculture. So mostly bioproduct is very easy to find even in the city, in the market in the city. Good local product at reasonable prices. And also Cagliari has a major fish market. You can find very good quality of fresh fishes, and so this is to say that food is a quality food in the area. It can be considered an attractor also for visitor and tourism, and an indicator of quality of life. Cagliari is also host Tiscali. Tiscali is the first public Italian internet service provider, and the establishment in Cagliari of Tiscali basically created a good habitat for startup companies to develop in Cagliari, and actually Cagliari is one of the main 3 cities in Italy in terms of number of startup. Cagliari also have a medium size compared to Italy university. This is a new campus located just outside Cagliari, and Cagliari University hosts at the moment around 1,000 faculty and 30,000 students, and having department in all the main field, scientific field. So when we start working on the Cagliari case study, we thought to assume a time horizon of 20 years. We define a scenario for population growth. That following the current trend should be more 25,000 people in 2035. We also consider in the study, in some instances of some workshop, we run several workshops on this case study, also accelerate an accelerated scenario, meaning having a population growth of 50,000 people by 2035. When we start working on this case study in 2016, we collected base data from the regional information system. The autonomous region of Sardinia has a rich, in terms of data, territorial information system, geographic information system, and the region of Sardinia also offers a job portal where the public can access for free basically almost 500 data layer, special data layer. You can see here in this map the existing land use, forests, and natural land on the mountain areas at the edge of the metropolitan areas, big portion of, in light green, of agricultural land. Industrial and commercial land uses are in red, and then the settlement in gray, and the big wetlands and water bodies in blue. The planned land use, planned at the local level, at the municipal level, here you can see the mosaic of the current situation of local planning. Consider preserve a lot of land for agriculture in light green. You have some protected areas in blue in the forest mostly, and some in the wetlands. You have some areas devoted to tourism, especially in the small municipality on the southern east and southern west coast. Cagliari has no, as you can see in gray, the settlement in the Cagliari conurbation. There is not much space here for tourism, but basically because these municipalities are already developed with high density, and there is no, for the future, there is not much space left actually within the municipal boundary. To study the future, possible future scenario for development in this area, we consider 10 systems listed here in the slide. These are the 10 systems actually defined by the International Geodesign Collaboration. The International Geodesign Collaboration is a network of partners, university, research institution, and some private company working in the planning domain, collaborating with common rules, common assumption all around the world. You can find more detail about this project at geodesigncollab.org. The coordination group of the International Geodesign Collaboration define for all the case studies around the world 9 systems plus one that was is left to be defined locally depending on the study areas. These include green infrastructure, water infrastructure, gray infrastructure, energy infrastructure, agriculture, industry, which include heavy industry, light industry, but also commerce, logistics and distribution, mining, and other type of similar land uses. Then we have lower density housing, mixed use. Mixed use is high density housing, include high density housing, but also retail commerce and services. And then we have another system which includes institutional services, such as services for education, health, or other civic services. And for this study area, for this case study, we decide to include cultural heritage, which is an important resource for also both for the quality of life and also which can have good effect in industry, for example, in tourism. In the original case study back in 2016, we use a different set of system, which include, for example, a specific system for the tourism industry, since also this is an important sector for the local economy. But in this case, referring to the 10 system study of the International Geodesign Collaboration, we can consider action of tourist development in other systems such as lower density housing or mixed use, or maybe also in cultural heritage, depending on the project that the participant will be proposing. So let's have a look. For each system, we develop a so-called evaluation map. This is a synthetic map that basically is a suitability map, kind of suitability map that should orient the design during the workshop. All the maps follow the same legend, the same classification. Basically, you have in red, this is the lower density housing evaluation map. In red, you can find existing low density housing area. In yellow, you see all the areas where it's not appropriate to build, even for morphology reason, accessibility reason. In this case, you have the two big yellow areas at the edge. This is mountain areas. This is not accessible. This is natural. You have forest here, so it's partly protected by law, so it's not appropriate to develop further housing development here. And in green, you have the location where has been considered by the expert the most suitable area for further development, depending on availability, accessibility, proximity to existing settlement, limiting land consumption, and presence of services and infrastructure. This is institutional. The institutional system, again, existing, not appropriate in red, not appropriate in yellow, and in green, also considering proximity and availability of infrastructure, the most, in dark green, the most suitable areas. The cultural heritage evaluation map was built kind of different set of assumptions. Basically, the darker area are those areas where there is a higher density of existing archaeological or historical site, and so the area where it's probably more convenient to go and start possible project to either preserve or use, make value of this, the availability of resources. In yellow is the location where basically there are not known cultural heritage goods and resources, and in red you can see the existing historical center mostly. Most of the municipality in the area, as in the main settlement, an old part that is traditional, and we consider this existing, not only existing but working well, because all these historical centers have an implementation plan for the rehabilitation and conversion to actual current function of this historical settlement. So the process is already going on, and we can consider this site working well. The green infrastructure evaluation map highlights the presence of the natural areas, the green areas in the mountain, also the wetlands. These especially the wetlands are very rich. We have flamingos, substantial all around here, many species of birds. And so here the idea, the assumption that guide the development of this map is basically to connect these main areas in a sort of green network. And we consider the darker green, the area that are less affected by development, so those who are easier to include in the working well areas or to connect the working well areas in the system. The yellow basically is where development is already existing with a strong pressure, high density, so there is not much space left for developing green infrastructure within the yellow area. This is the blue infrastructure map. Basically, in red, you can find existing rivers and water bodies, surface water bodies, and which are existing, working well. And the green here is limited in the area surrounding the water bodies, and the action expected here are either preservation from hydrological risk and the preservation of the quality of waters. This is a simple map. We didn't have an expert working with us to develop this map, so the system, the model underlying the creation of this map is quite simple. We are further working on it at the moment to improve the quality of this map. Energy infrastructure, you can see existing sources of energy plant, and in yellow the area again which are not appropriate either from the morphology of the present of hydrological risk, and in the dark green you see the location either from proximity to settlement, to industrial settlement, to road infrastructure, where is has been considered more appropriate to develop further action in terms of green energy production and the like. The transport evaluation map show you in red all the roads which are existing and working well. The main Stata road which goes to the north is the main axis south to north of the island. In dark green you can see some buffer. In dark green, these are the infrastructure which should be improved first, because here the infrastructure exists but is not working well, and in dark green actually you see the infrastructure for which project has already been designed to improve the level of services and the quality of infrastructure. So meaning that the darker green area express the infrastructure where there is the main interest of the local community. This includes road infrastructure, mainly some rail and light rail infrastructure. The agricultural evaluation map, this is simple, but basically follow the availability of good soil. So the darker the green, the better the quality of the soil, and so this is the area where possible improvement of way of the agricultural production should be located. Mixed evaluation map. The mixed system include high density housing in the city center and in the Cagliari conurbation. These are mostly the areas where high density housing and services and retail commerce are located, and there are some minor location in the rest of the metropolitan city. And so probably a more balanced distribution in order to ensure accessibility to population should be arranged for this system. Industry and commerce evaluation map, you can see in red existing heavy industry, the big Macchiareddu industrial pole, the oil refinery, and some minor in light industry and commerce land uses. Yellow again, location where morphology prevent to and also natural natural areas prevent further industrial development. Okay.
Okay, I hope I succeed to give you an idea about the Cagliari metropolitan city, and this may help you to run successfully your workshop. I hope you will find this geodesign approach interesting. Working with Geodesign Hub is fun, first of all, but also is a way to put innovation, to change the way of working and managing the design process. So have fun. I'm looking forward to hear from you about the result.